Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, fans, and welcome to the 2025 New Jersey Athletic Conference Baseball Championship second round here at Yogi Berra Stadium. It's double elimination here, and both teams that are going to be taking the field today are facing elimination. It is the Ramapo College Roadrunners taking on the number one seeded Kean University Cougars. Should be a good one today. I'm Ryan Nussbaum alongside CJ Staniak. We have two aces going out there as well.
Two aces, you're absolutely right, Ryan. I mean, how about the time to be here for this NJAC tournament? I think that maybe the Kean Cougars are a little bit stunned to be in this spot right now. I mean, you can look back to the regular season that they had. They're now ranked 6th in the country. They lost one game in all of April. They lost one game in all of conference play, and then a stunning loss in the first round to Rutgers-Camden. They were up 4-1 going into the ninth inning, in which they gave up 6 runs, dropping it 7-4. Pretty stunning that they're in the losers bracket. But you're absolutely right. Today, they will be ready to come play and to prove what they have left. And on the other side for Ramapo as well, I mean, you look down the list, and for them, a pretty spectacular regular season and out of conference, maybe struggled a bit in conference play. They end up getting beat pretty bad by Rowan in the first round today, though Jack Martin on the mound looking to salvage their season. I mean, potentially a shot at an at-large bid to the tournament should they not win the NJAC, but don't want to leave that to the committee. Jack Martin, though, on the mound, 1.73 ERA this season. He's making his 8th start. A little bit of a limited season, maybe to say, but they're going to need him big today. They have to depend on him if they want to keep their season alive.
So the Roadrunners are going to be designated as the home team today. They will be in the field first. Let's go over the defensive lineup for them. First base is going to be John Higgins. Eric Knapp taking second. Dom Ciani at short. Zach Novowski is going to be at third. In the outfield, it is going to be Caruso is going to be in left, and Lamolas is going to be in center for Ramapo. As for starting lineup for Kean, it is going to be Dom Messino, Kyle Adorno, Tyler Stone, CJ Tomalovich, John Chezano, Dan Resley, Brett Hillshire, Justin Teixeira, and Nick Solari. So both teams getting set to play here on a hot and humid day here at Yogi Berra Stadium.
Yeah, we got some rain expected over the weekend. Today, maybe the last nice day. I wouldn't say it's sunshine, but a little bit of the foreshadowing for what's to come with some of the clouds in the sky. Nonetheless, though, hot, and I think based on the last couple of months, I'm coming to respect that at this point. It's definitely baseball weather, and humid baseball. We could see the ball flying a little bit today with the hot temperatures.
Martin takes the mound. Messino up to bat. Here's the first pitch. That's right down the center for a strike, and we are underway in the NJAC Baseball Championship.
Dominic Messino started all 41 games this year for the Cougars. 303 average there in the leadoff spot. Also a guy that can steal you some bases, 17 on the year.
That next pitch was low and outside for ball one. Next pitch swung on and fouled, brings it to a 1-2 count.
And they're going to need Messino here really throughout the rest of the tournament and throughout the rest of the season. He's 0 for his last 10, and including an 0 for 4 game against Rutgers-Camden. At the top of your lineup, going to need some consistency out of him and get back to the level of play that they know he can be.
Here's Martin on the 1-2. Swung on and popped up. Going towards the wall and will be out of play. Still a 1-2 count here. Both of these teams faced losses in the first round. And again, shockingly against Rutgers-Camden, taking their first conference loss. Ramapo falling to Rowan. Here's the 1-2 again. Swung on and missed for strike 3. First batter, first man down for Jack Martin.
And Jack Martin's a guy who not only can he give you length as a starter, but he's also got the explosive stuff that has actually allowed him to get some reliever appearances this season. He's made 3 appearances out of the pen, and you see that heavy fastball right there. He's able to get it by Messino, and there's your first strikeout of the day. Didn't take long.
Here's the newly minted Conference Player of the Year, Kyle Adorno. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Big time matchup here between Adorno and Martin. Next pitch swung on. Evens up the count.
And Adorno, just another fabulous hitter on this team. A guy who hitting .429 on the year. He gives you some pop, 33 RBIs, and that's slugging up around 600.
That one paints the corner, in for a strike. It's 1-2. Martin chasing his second strikeout. Upstairs for a ball.
Wants to change the eye level there. I like that pitch, even though kind of away from the plate with a 1-2 count. See if he sets up something breaking away now.
Count even at 2. Swung on and fouled off.
He goes right back to that fastball. Shows how much trust he has in it, and definitely one of the harder throwing pitchers in the conference.
He knows he has to send some serious heat to try to beat Adorno. Swung on, hit towards short. The relay over to first, and now will be the second out of the day for Ramapo.
Well, I like the 2-strike approach from Adorno. A very short swing to the ball. Ends up with solid contact and a routine ground ball, though. And the Roadrunners already 2 away here. This top of the lineup for Kean has kind of been the story throughout the beginning and throughout the course of the season. If Ramapo able to get a shutout first inning here, that'd be huge.
Tyler Stone check swings. First base umpire will call that a strike. Stone batting .364 in the season. It's also started in all 41 games as that next pitch outside for a ball.
That's a guy who had 6 hits at one point across the 2 games this season against Ramapo.
That pitch well framed, but still called for a ball. It's 2-1.
Another guy up at the top, Ofer, in the first game of this tournament.
Popped up, down the left field line. That ball also hit out of play. So it's 2s across the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Jack Martin 1 away from escaping this inning. Here's the pitch. Just a little outside for ball 3. That's going to bring up a full count. It's been a good battle between pitcher and hitter here, between Stone and Martin. Here's the payoff. It's going to be outside, called for ball 4, and the Kean Cougars have a man on with 2 outs.
That's a great at-bat from Stone there. And when you've got a pitcher who can beat you with a fastball, sometimes it's very difficult to hold yourself up. And a lot of times you'll see hitters kind of commit to the pitch before they even know where it's going to be at. But a couple of really good takes there and able to work his way aboard with 2 outs, bringing the big man to the plate.
So we get CJ Tomilovich up for the Cougars. First pitch outside from Martin for ball 1. Tomilovich 8th in the conference right now in batting average, .378 coming into this game.
And also 12 home runs on the season.
That pitch inside for a strike. It's 1-1. Something interesting here. This is the first time today that Martin's dealing with a runner on the bags. It changes up the dynamic as a pitcher.
It certainly does. And we'll see how he comes out of the stretch here, these next few pitches. Looking to go off speed there, but always interesting to see, pitcher splits versus when there's nobody on base. And when there is a base runner working out of the stretch, so far, though, looking like no issues.
1-2 count for Martin. He deals. Upstairs for a ball. It's 2-2.
I like the idea for the elevated fastballs from Martin, but I think he's just leaving him a little too up with some of these pitches. If he's able to flirt with the top of the zone a little bit more, he could get some chases.
Pitch downstairs for a ball. It's 3-2 again. So for 2 consecutive batters, it's 2 consecutive full counts.
And if nothing else, they are working the pitch count of Martin. Over 20 pitches now here in the first.
Payoff pitch for Martin. Swung on, strike 3. Jack Martin, 2 strikeouts in the first. Gets his team to a very good start as they get set to come up to the bat.
And that's the way you set your tone for the team right there. Ramapo did a great job in game 1 with jumping out to a lead. It was in the second inning where they kind of fell apart. But great work from Martin there in the first. The fastball working, the off-speed started to mix it in a little bit more as the at-bats went on. But I'm seeing a lot of confidence in his stuff. He's working with 2 strikes in pretty much every at-bat. I believe every at-bat, matter of fact, he had 2 strikes on the hitter. So Martin attacking the zone, coming away with positive results. Solid first inning for him.
And we have a solid defensive lineup as well for Kean. It's going to be Justin Teixeira, Kyle Adorno, and Tyler Stone in the outfield. Dan Riceley is going to be at first. Messino at shortstop. Hillsheimer at third base for this Kean team. Jason Gilman is going to be on the mound as well. We talked about him before the game started. Another great pitcher for this Kean team.
Yeah, great pitcher to say the least. One of the best pitchers in the entire country. Leads the nation in victories. He's 11-0 on the season. And from there, the stats don't get any worse. 1.38 ERA. That whip sub 1. And the opponent's hitting 169 against him. He's got 111 strikeouts in 78 innings.
And he is, of course, the NJAC Pitcher of the Year. The awards for Kean really have just been mounting up. Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year. You have Coaching Staff of the Year. 10 players on this roster as well being named all NJAC. So a lot of talent there for the Cougars. As Ramapo gets set to come up and bat for the first time.
And it's no doubt that Kean had the successful season that they did. You mentioned all the accolades, and Kyle Adorno, the player of the year in the NJAC. We saw him hitting second in the lineup. Gilman, the pitcher of the year. He also had the fireman of the year and Jason Basilicata. It really was just up and down. You're dominated by the Cougars. And like I said, just so shocking that they are in this game to begin with.
So here's the starting batting order for the Cougars. It's going to be Caruso up first. Ciani batting behind him. Bailey batting third. Novowski is going to be batting cleanup. Higgins is in the hole after him. Swart out after. Lalumia batting after. Knapp is going to be in after. First pitch downstairs for a ball, and that's how we're going to get the half inning started. No runs for Kean in the first. Ramapo looks to take an early advantage. Pitch in for a strike, just pinning the corner. It's 1-1.
Caruso, not necessarily a guy that's been an everyday starter, as played in 29 games, technically not even a qualified hitter this season. And today in the leadoff spot, lefty-lefty against Gilman.
That ball popped up, coming towards center field. Dorno, the little bit of a leap, gets the first out of the day for the Cougars. So now Dominic Ciani is going to come up for Ramapo. For Ciani, 326 on the season, 755 OPS, 377 on-base percentage, 44 hits on the year for him.
Yeah, singles-heavy player, Ciani, but a great contact hitter nonetheless.
It's a little bit of a blooper hit down towards third. Throw made. 2 away for the Cougars.
That's 2 quick outs right there. I like that the Roadrunners are coming ready to hit the ball, and they're ready to jump on Gilman right away, because that's really all you can do against a good pitcher who's going to pound the zone, is going to give you good pitches to hit. They're trying to get after him right away, but that's 4 pitches for 2 outs.
Zach Bailey up next. 2 away for the Cougars. First pitch swung on. First strike. Right now it's Gilman doing a great job. Gilman deals. That one swung on again. Starting to creep outside with the strikes.
What impresses me is the way that Gilman approaches against right-handers. He is so good at working away and keeping the ball off the bats and off the barrels of opposing hitters, in particular right-handers.
The 0-2. That one into the dirt for the first ball. Gilman has just been aggressive this at-bat as well, just attacking the strike zone. One, two coming. Swung on, strike 3, and now retire the side. An impressive showing from Jason Gilman here in the first. No runs for either team. It's 0-0 going to the second.
And I'll tell you, that first inning may be very indicative of what we're going to see pretty much all day long. I fully expect this game to come down to a few runs. I think the first time you see a team score today, it should be noted. It's going to be very, very crucial. Runs are going to be hard to come by. You see Gilman, cruising through the first right there. Those at-bats pretty non-competitive and looking unfair, looking like he did pretty much all season long, and he's hoping for win number 12 today.
Looks like we have a substitution being made in at catcher for Ramapo. Looks like Trevor Coltonback has went out there. He's taking warm-up pitches right now from pitcher. So very interesting to see an early substitution being made here in this game. Excuse me, not for Ramapo. Oh, yeah, excuse me. There was no substitute. I swore I was going to be out there. It's my apologies.
Leading off for the Cougars, the catcher, number 34, John Chisano.
Top of the second here. It's going to be John Chisano leading off. First pitch swung on, fouled back into the net.
Chisano, the backstop for the Cougars, hitting 400 on the season. Another guy with some pop, 3 home runs on the year, a 560 slugging, and that OPS over 1,000. One of the better hitting catchers in the NJAC.
That pitch in for a strike as well. 0-2 early. So it's Jack Martin who's worked himself in a pretty good position to start off this inning. Here's Martin on the 0-2. Outside for the first ball.
And right away, we're back to that recipe that we already talked about. Already 2 strikes on the next hitter. That's the first 5 hitters of the game, and Martin's had 2 strikes on every single one of them.
Here's the pitch. Upstairs, we'll see the call from the first base umpire. And that will be a strikeout for Jack Martin, his third of the day, and he's making quick work out of Kean for their top half of the lineup.
Yep, the Cougars going after that high fastball again. Chisano unable to hold up. Didn't even need the appeal on that. Home plate umpire doing the job for you. One gone.
Breaking ball just finds its way into the zone for strike one. You see Wesley up. That pitch outside for a ball. For Dan Wesley, he's batting .283 on the year, .872 OPS. That pitch is outside for another ball. Martin trying to go back to the breaking ball as it just finds its way outside of the zone.
Yeah, interesting. It's been very fastball heavy. The first couple pitches of the at-bat.
As that one swung on well, makes its way out towards center. And that will be the second out.
It's a little bit of a mistake from Martin there. That ball ends up right out over the middle of the plate. Riceley nearly making him pay. That ball out toward the 388 sign in dead center, but able to be tracked down.
Brett Hilsheimer up. He'll swing on the first pitch he sees for strike one. Hilsheimer batting .284 on the season. Martin deals, hit up towards third. Third baseman can't corral it, makes the throw, and it's just a little bit late. Kean has a runner on.
This may be the thing that comes back to haunt Ramapo throughout the season and throughout the tournament. And you can look back to game one where they gave up unearned runs. They're just unable to sometimes keep innings controlled. They gave up 4 unearned runs last game against, obviously, the beatdown against Rowan. And with 2 outs, maybe expendable for a mistake there, but something to keep an eye on, their defensive play through the last few games.
Pitch inside for a ball. As Justin Teixeira comes up for his first at-bat of the game. Teixeira batting .295 on the year. Martin deals. Swung on, popped up over towards the left field line. It's going to go out of play. For Teixeira, .426 on base percentage. One for Martin. Teixeira showed bunt there, but pulled back at the last second. It's 2-1.
Look over at first. Brett Hilsheimer, 7 of 10 on stolen base attempts this season. Not too big of a lead right now, though.
That pitch also inside. It's 3-1. It's a dangerous situation right now for Jack Martin, who's trying not to assess a walk here with 2 outs.
Yeah, now we'll see what Martin's like working behind in the count. This unfamiliar territory so far today.
3-1 count. Swung on and hit well as it drops into right field. And that's going to be a single for Teixeira. That'll send the man on first, Hilsheimer, all the way to third. And now there's a runner in scoring position for the Cougars.
All right, well, a great piece of hitting. We said we didn't know where Martin would go with that pitch. He comes with the fastball, and Teixeira more than ready for it. Just turns on an inside pitch into right field. Great piece of hitting there. And looks like the Cougars may be in business here with 2 outs. Once again, think back to that error.
Now we're going to see Nick Solari try to bring home Hilsheimer from third. That pitch inside for ball 1. Swung on, fouled away. Hillsheimer was taking a solid lead off of third before the last pitch was thrown.
Yeah, they're trying to play games with Martin right now. You also see Teixeira kind of dancing off of first base. They're trying to throw his rhythm off any way possible.
Solari watches a off-speed curveball go past him. 1-2.
Maybe not what he's looking for there, but that's pretty much as good of a pitch as you're going to see in this at-bat, at least location-wise. It's not going to get easier here from a 1-2 count. See if Martin wants to go upstairs with that fastball again.
1-2. Not swung on, it's upstairs. That'll even up the count. So Solari showing a little bit of patience with 2 strikes. He looks just to try to get bat on ball.
Look, he's going to go. Teixeira on his way to second. Off. Oh, and they just handed him a run.
Maybe not, because he's going to be out at home. A great play made, situational baseball, and maybe a little bit of an announcer jinx as well. The Ramapo Roadrunners are ready for that one. Hillsheimer tried to get a fast one off, but ultimately, the Roadrunners are ready for that one.
Wow.
Still 0-0 after the top of the second.
Man, I thought at first glance that this would be a 1-0 Kean lead. You see Teixeira take off and head towards second base. This was something that they kind of had brewing the entire at-bat. They decided to do it with 2 strikes on the hitter. Teixeira takes off. I thought the throw to second was a little bit late from Martin, but it seems as though Hillsheimer just not far enough off the bag at third base, took off late in addition to that, and it's a great throw to the plate in plenty of time. And all of a sudden, the Roadrunners get out of it.
But I thought the positioning of the ball was perfect as well. And, when you're a catcher, you want to have the ball in a position so you can not just grab it at the plate, but grab it and have time to put the glove down and get into the dirt to try to make the stop. And that's exactly what we saw there. Great job by Ramapo preventing a run from going on the board. And now they come up to bat.
And that's huge for the potential momentum in this game. We mentioned it. The runs are going to be hard to come by. This is going to be a pitcher's duel. And Martin may be looking a little bit more human there in the second than he did in the first, but the Roadrunners nearly giving up an unearned run. Huge for them to get out of that.
So in the last inning, Ramapo went down 1-2-3 when they were up to hit. Now here in the bottom of the second, the heart of the lineup is going to try to get things going here for this Roadrunner team.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think right now, you look at that first inning, 8 pitches for Gilman. You need to work the count a little bit more. You need to see how he's throwing the ball in certain counts, especially the first time through the order. Listen, nobody wants to be shut out through the first 3-4 innings of the game, but if that's what it takes to understand Gilman, today is going to be a marathon. The time to get him is that second and third time through the order.
Nowakowski swings at the first pitch he sees. It's popped up to left and caught. 1 away.
And once again, they go after the first pitch, so they remain aggressive. Listen, if that's the way that your team's hit all season long, then no point in straying from it now. I just think it's going to be very, very difficult if Gilman's able to keep his pitch count in check and give you 8-9 innings here.
First pitch upstairs for Higgins. Higgins, the first baseman. Watches that one go away. It's 2-0. Higgins batting .338 on the season. He's played in and started in all 40 games. That pitch also outside. And it's a great start for this at-bat.
I will say,
Higgins.
Gilman, one kryptonite. Sometimes that command kind of gets away from him. Does have 25 walks on the year. Not immune to giving up free bases.
3-0. That one is outside as well. And Ramapo has a man on.
Interesting to see how it turns there. A 4-pitch walk. Really unforeseen. Just the way that Gilman has approached these first couple of hitters. Nonetheless, the Roadrunners, their first base runner of the day.
Jesse Swartout is here for the Roadrunners. 295 on the year. 940 OPS. First pitch low and outside for ball one. Next pitch, dealt outside as well, 2-0. So now it is 6 balls in a row.
Yeah, he can keep the count going here. And certainly this is giving a boost to the Roadrunners right now. You hear their dugout getting louder with every pitch.
In these situations as a batter, you might want to just lay off and see what happens. That one again is just going to paint the strike zone. Be the first strike thrown in this at-bat. But it was borderline as well.
I'm with you, Ryan. I'm taking until you get a strike in that situation. I don't think upset with the call there necessarily, but it is on the corner.
This one swung on, popped up high. Towards left field. It's going to be at the wall and gone. A home run for Ramapo to break open the scoring. The catcher is going to get a big-time home run. It hung up there for a while, but now he'll run around the bases and come home. A solo shot to open up the scoring for Ramapo.
Wow, unbelievable there. With Swartout coming through in a huge spot. He gets ahead in the count, gets an elevated fastball, and does not miss it. That wind is drifting just a little bit out. That ball was way up in the air. Bringing down some rain with him. And all of a sudden, 2-0 out of nowhere. Wow. What a difference a couple of batters makes.
So Ramapo, what many people will call the underdogs in this game, are out to a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second after a massive home run from Swartout.
Number 6 on the year for Swartout. In a huge spot.
Everything just seems to be going Ramapo's way, just from being able to get a man on the bases after a 4-pitch walk, then working the count to a home run. It was back towards the wall for sure. It was kind of floating up there, just making its way outside of the field for a home run.
Just the second home run that Gilman's allowed all year.
So that pitch downstairs, it's 3-1 again. Lalomia is up. Lalomia is also another solid hitter for Ramapo as he just watches that pitch go by him for ball 4.
And somebody's got to get out there and go talk to Jason Gilman right now because things are beginning to unravel.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm surprised nobody's gone out there yet, as now this is exactly what's going to happen. So what do you say to Gilman in this situation? He's had a very good, start to the game in the first, and now things are starting to come apart a little bit here in the second.
Well, I mean, obviously they're leaving the coaching staff out of this, but what I'm saying right now, listen, you're 11-0 on the season. You're one of the best pitchers in the country. Trust your stuff right now. I need you to attack the plate, get ahead of hitters, and work from there. That's how he's able to so seamlessly get through those first 4 hitters of the game on 9 pitches. Attack the zone, get ahead in counts. First and foremost, the first pitch strike going to be crucial for him.
First pitch is going to be in for a strike. Snap up to bat, the number 8 hitter for this Ramapo team. Pitch is outside for ball 1. Gilman deals. Runner takes off for second. No throw is made. As now Ramapo has another runner in scoring position.
And that's an incredible jump, too.
Lalumia just absolutely had the defense's number there. He just jumped out to a massive lead and just almost walked over to second.
It's difficult to do that against a left-hander when you're on first base, but he timed it perfectly. They've got Gilman's looks down right now, and he continues to fall behind.
Yeah, now Gilman falling behind 3-1. It's now a runner in scoring position. For Eric Knapp, he's sitting in a pretty good position. He could just wait on this one. Maybe swing again. Here's the pitch. Popped up and out of play.
Good job by Gilman. He stays out of the middle of the zone right there. Ends up being a foul ball away. You're absolutely right. That's as good of a count as you're going to see with a guy who's going through a ton of adversity, more than he's probably faced all year right now.
Full count for Gilman. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled out of play again. So this duel continues here.
Great fight, too, as Gilman still very, very hesitant to come inside against these right-handers. Everything's on the outside part of the plate. That's a tough pitch with 2 strikes. But Knapp stays alive.
3-2. Here's the payoff. Swung on, hit right up the center. Made towards second. Can he get the throw? He does. So that is going to advance the runner over towards third. But it's going to be 2 outs now for Kean after making that play.
The runner slides to third, but Nick Solari just saved the run. What an unbelievable play to knock that ball down. If it leaks into center, that's another pretty easy run right there for the Roadrunners, Lalumia. Not only that, but he's able to get the out at first for the second out. Huge. And that's a much-needed out for Gilman as well.
So you see Lalumia on third now. See Klon's up right now.
It's also a great play to stay with that ball. It hit off his glove and kind of got away from him for a second.
Swung on. It's 1-on-1. It's an interesting situation here. 2 outs in the inning, 1-1. Man on third. Here's the pitch again. Downstairs, that one's going to be a ball. You see Gilman, who was so aggressive in the early stages of this game, now starting to try to find the outside of the zone a little bit more, maybe perhaps working his breaking ball just a little bit.
I'd like to see him throw that again. That breaking ball's been very, very effective, but he's thrown it sparingly.
Yeah, but he got it again just there to even up the count at 2-2. He's 1 strike away from escaping this inning. It's Klons. Swings on that one, and it's going to go just foul. He's chasing his 27th hit of the year. Also trying to get into the double digits for RBIs this season.
They're shading him way toward the hole at second base. You see Solari is basically out in right field, right in that hole. Shoot something through the middle.
That one's fouled back and right over our press box.
Had one come in here a few weeks ago. Got to be on the lookout.
Absolutely. Always have to be ready. It's still 2-2. Klons faces it. Here's the pitch. Downstairs. They'll take that for a ball. Back up to a full count. So allowing a walk here might not be the worst outcome.
Yeah, you've got the bases loaded, but the last thing you want is to flip this lineup back up toward the top with traffic on the base paths. I think Gilman wants to get this out right here and get out of the inning.
3-2. Swung on, hit towards short. Messina picks it up, makes a throw over, and he will get the out. Ramapo, though, with a 2-run shot, is going to go take the lead of this game. Kean is going to try to respond in the third.
Wow, what an inning right there for Ramapo. Pretty much out of nowhere. What did I say? I mean, the issue for me was really attacking early on in these counts, and I didn't anticipate Gilman giving up 2 runs through the second inning of this game. I don't know what happened in the middle of the inning. Just starts to break down. He's getting behind in counts, and when you're giving up 2 1 swings and 3 1 swings, those things are going to happen. You're going to give up hard contact. Gave up the free pass before the home run and then fell into a 2-0 count that kind of sparked that. And what an at-bat there from Swartout as well. You can feel the energy right now from the Roadrunner dugout. They just got and tagged one of the best pitchers in the entire country in this conference, the best pitcher in this conference. Now they need a shutdown inning on the other side of that.
And, I think that's kind of the energy that you get from these playoff games because you really do have to wipe away everything that's happened in the entire season. Ramapo knows that they need this game to stay alive, keep their weekend going, as does Kean to keep their weekend alive as well. So both teams are coming out of the gate playing really hard, and that's the kind of thing that happens, when you're in these playoff situations. The players start to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you get to these big-time moments, listen, and NJAC play is a gauntlet. Don't let that be mistaken. This is one of the best conferences in all of Division III. And for a team like Ramapo, who was so dominant out of conference this season, I mean, you look at their record, they finished 27-13. They were 10-8 in conference play, 8 of their 13 losses. It's pretty stunning, the amount of talent that is in this conference, and it's exhausting when you get toward the end of the regular season, and now you work toward playoff time. Well, that's where it's time to turn up with just a little bit more, but truly anything can happen here in the NJAC.
So for Kean, we'll see Nick Solari up first. So Martin's breaking ball misses. Batting .322 on the year, .426 on base percentage. Next pitch is going to be inside for a strike. Top of the lineup due after Messino and Adorno to follow. Will be their second time up. Pitch dealt, popped up center field. Oh, makes the catch, nearly bobbling it. But ultimately, Lalamia is able to corral that one to record the first out.
Sun's starting to peek out now as well. We'll see if that plays a factor at all. And obviously always the wind, a question here in the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of an overcast coming into the game, but as the day's gone on, things are definitely brightened up a little bit and can really get that spring energy here. As the first pitch in this at-bat is going to be a ball. Top of the order now with Dominic Messino. Last time up, he struck out. Lets that one go by him. He's up 2-0 in the count.
And that was the difference. Messino fell behind in the count his first at bat. He ultimately struck out. Now he's working ahead here.
Martin deals. In for a strike. It's 2-1. So Kean looking to respond after going down 2-0 in the last inning. Floating curveball hit. Play made towards first. Higgins makes the play. And that'll be 2 away.
Well, Martin hasn't gotten a strikeout in some time now, but still has been very effective with inducing weak contact. And that time there gets Messino to roll over to shortstop, a routine play. He continues to move along here, getting the first 2 outs in every single inning so far.
Adorno comes up to the plate. We know how dangerous of a hitter he is. The first pitch was away for a ball.
So big to be able to retire those first 2 hitters in every inning.
Adorno swung on that one. He grounded out his first time up.
And obviously, Adorno, the NJAC Player of the Year. Even with 2 on the inning. This is a guy that can spark a rally out of nowhere.
You see Martin playing carefully around him as he tried to get that breaking ball outside and missed the strike zone. Counts up to 2-1. The pitch now swung on, a big swing from Adorno. He's going to draw another strike. So it's going to be 2-2 now. One strike is going to end things here as this pitch is going to be swung on, fouled off. So Adorno doing a good job defending the plate there. The 2-2. Outside again, brings the count full.
Even with 2 strikes, Martin continues to try to get Adorno to chase badly. But he's such a patient hitter, you're not really going to get that chase. You've got to come after him.
Yeah, you see Jack Martin working the outside corners. Here's the pitch again. Swung on, strike 3. A huge strikeout for Jack Martin. Now we'll retire this side and bring Ramapo back up. Kean unable to respond in the top of the third.
And once again, that's the fastball. Jack Martin continues. It's been a dominant first 3 innings for him. He's kept hitters off balance. He's mixing in that off speed just enough to keep the effect of that fastball. And there's just so much velo there. Explodes out of the hand. And Adorno getting beat there in a full count. Like I said, especially when you're in a 3-2 count, you get a little bit antsy at the plate. And you've got a guy that can beat you with the fastball. You're gearing up for that. That's ball 4, but that's the effect that a really good fastball can have on a hitter. Gets him to fish out of the zone and end the inning. It's been pretty masterful through the first 3 for Martin.
Yeah, and his strategy there was really sound, I thought. You know, he knew that Adorno was a dangerous hitter. You can't really put anything in the zone. So, as you were saying, he was drawing him off. You saw those pitches go outside. Almost every pitch was in the same place that entire at-bat. And stuck with his bread and butter there to get that strikeout. So, another huge one for him. Now Ramapo looks to build on their 2-0 lead in the bottom of the third.
And this is going to be a big inning for Gilman here. Obviously, the uncharacteristic bottom half of the second. And now you walk in here looking to rebound. Listen, he's thrown 37 pitches. Not an extensive number necessarily. There's still room to pull this back in. And a quality inning here. You once again get your hopes back up for a quality appearance and giving yourself a chance to win the game. It's only 2-0 right now. And I mentioned that run's going to be hard to come by. Jack Martin's looked good, but still should be noteworthy that Kean had runners on the corners there in the second.
So we're going to see the top of the lineup for Ramapo as we see Caruso, Ciani, and Bailey do up this inning. Gilman deals. That pitch is popped up into the dugout for Ramapo. Looks like Hillsheimer almost had an opportunity to get that one, but
He did.
I think it's just a little too far out the reach.
And it's a populated Ramapo dugout as well. A lot of heads in there. Got to be difficult. Obviously on the move and toward that dugout. I think there's some padding on that railing, luckily, for Hillsheimer.
So Caruso flew out in his last at-bat. As he watches this pitch go by him for a ball.
I thought Caruso put a great swing on Gilman in his first at-bat. Tall fly out to center field. But got a barrel, maybe just a little bit under it.
Next pitch is dealt. Hit towards short. Relay made. A slide towards first to get the out. So it was a good job there by the Kean first baseman, just staying composed as the runner was sliding towards him.
Yeah, interesting to see the slide toward first base, and a lot of times it actually slows you down. Looks like Caruso maybe a little bit ginger working back toward the dugout too. I think he's still out. Had he run through the bag, but I think that slows you down there. You generally only want to see a slide when the throw is up the line and you're trying to avoid a tag.
Ciani up to bat now. It was a good job by Messina, too, the shortstop, getting on that play as well. It was kind of a awkwardly hit ball. He came up to make the play.
Absolutely. And Caruso running well out of the left-handed batter's box. He had to hurry with that.
It's 1-1. One away now for Ramapo. Here's a pitch coming. Swung on. That ball was a little bit downstairs. Well placed. So it's Gilman trying to settle back in after allowing 2 in the last inning. Has a 1-2 now. He deals. Swung on. Was down the third baseline before being fouled off.
And this is the Jason Gilman that we're now accustomed to. Out ahead. Attacking the zone, generating that contact.
He just keeps his head down and goes back to work. It's the kind of player he is. Waiting the 1-2. The pitch. Upstairs for a ball that'll even up the count.
Also, something that stuck out to me, Ramapo just 1 strikeout through their first time through the order against Gilman, who led the nation in strikeouts this season.
That one swung on again, fouled behind us. So the count remains 2-2. Ciani working the pitch count of Gilman. Two coming. Outside and swung on. Hit towards Messina. Makes the throw to first. And that'll be 2 away now.
Nice work to finish off that at-bat. Very difficult to get Ciani to strike out. Instead, he gets the weak contact. Ciani just throwing the hands, and that one out to shortstop. 2 fairly routine plays for Messina. I had to hurry with the first. This time, much more leisurely.
Zach Bailey comes up with 2 outs. It was the first strikeout of the game for Gilman.
And the only strikeout to this point.
Looks like Bailey's coming out patient as he watched that first pitch go by him for a ball. That one a check swing and fouled off. So Gilman's still trying to draw Bailey downstairs and out.
Yeah, still working away. If the Roadrunners, a couple of these right-handed hitters able to just shoot the ball out toward right field, going to see some positive results offensively.
Gilman deals. Swung on again, hit towards shortstop. Ciano picks it up, throw made to retire the side. No runs allowed for Kean. Here in the bottom of the third, we go to the 4th. So it was a good defensive inning, a little bit of a recovery. I think Gilman really needed that. He looked very good on the mound just that last half inning, I thought.
Absolutely. Generated 3 weak ground balls to shortstop. 6-3 the put out for all 3 hitters. And I don't know if it's a lack of adjustment necessarily or something that Gilman's doing really well, but perhaps with that arm side run from the left-handed side, it's throwing hitters off, and they are rolling over on these outside pitches quite often. I mean, you saw it those last 2 hitters, Ciani and Bailey, both getting pitches on the outer half, and they're both being rolled over to short. That's not a recipe for success at all. They need to embrace that, especially these right-handers. Everything's going to be on the outer edge, and obviously that's frustrating. You don't necessarily want to have all your pitches out there. You'd like something on the inner half, but Gilman's good enough to not make those mistakes, and his command is pinpoint enough to work toward that outer half, so he's doing a good job of staying committed to that and executing on those pitches. Ramapo yet to make that adjustment.
It looks like Jack Martin will be remaining out there for Ramapo. 4 strikeouts so far in this game. Only 1 walk and 1 hit allowed.
One thing that I do question, 56 pitches through these first 3 innings, and that may come as a surprise because it's been fairly easy for him, but there was an error that gave him about 10 to 15 extra pitches there in the second inning. had a little bit of an extensive first as well. He needs a couple of quick innings here if he wants to remain in longer than about 6 innings.
So we go to the middle innings of this game. Tyler Stone is going to be leading off for the Cougars. Walked his last time up. First pitch upstairs for ball 1. And as you said, that's a very good point. The pitch count may become a factor as that one swung on and popped up. Catcher looking to make the play, and he got it.
Great work.
Good job there by Swartout responding early.
Yeah, great job, Swartout. He tosses the mask, able to locate that ball. It's not hit very high in the air, which makes that a super difficult play for him back behind the plate, but good read on it. Able to work his way out toward the third base side and squeeze it.
So you see CJ Tomilovich come back up. Struck out in his last at-bat. So he takes ball 1. It's the at-bat that also retired the side as well. So the next pitch is outside. 2-0 count. Tomilovich all power.
Yeah, 12 home runs this season. Martin's got to be careful here with 2-0. It's a great pitch.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch there as it finds its way into the strike zone. It's 2-1.
Right at the top of the zone. He gets it at the letters, and Tomilovich still, it's not a great pitch to swing at 2-0.
He'll watch that one go by him as well to bring the count of 3-1. So, it's kind of the stereotype behind like your power hitter is someone who is aggressive, wants to swing at everything. But CJ Tomilovich is really doing the opposite here. He's waiting for the pitch that he wants as he receives the next one. That one inside for a strike.
Still, those 2 strikes that he's taken have both been on the outer edge of the zone. And that taken 2-1 as well. Very, very impressive. He doesn't expand the zone out above as Martin tried to get him to chase.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled. Just fouled, maybe?
Yeah,
I think it was, yes.
Got a piece of it. Difficult to see as the ball kind of ricocheted. Ball's off the plate, but Tomilovich staying alive. That's the most important part.
Payoff pitch coming. Martin delivers. Swung on and fouled off. His at-bat will continue. Tomilovich doing a great job fighting in that batter's box right now.
And by the way, Tomilovich a homer on Thursday against Rutgers Camden. Got the scoring started then for the Cougars. See if he can do it now.
Watch that one go by for a strikeout as it just painted the outside. A well-placed pitch for Martin. Tomilovich thought it was a walk.
Yeah, I think Tomilovich thinks that ball's on the outside part of the plate, but Martin hits the glove of Swartout, and most of the time here, this isn't the major leagues. If you hit the glove, you've got a shot to get that call to strike if it's near the plate, and he's able to, don't know if that pitch was in the zone or not, look pretty good from here.
I actually agree with the call as the next pitch is swung on. Throw me to first, and now retire the side. A great job by Jack Martin to put Kean away again. The score remains 2-0 in favor of the Roadrunners.
And that was breezy right there. Obviously, the big at-bat in the middle of the inning with Tomilovich. Martin able to finish that off and get him out. Very, very important to do so. Could have been a momentous at-bat for the Cougars should he have reached. Instead, able to get the strikeout looking and then finish off the hitter on the next pitch.
As we're here for the 2025 NJAC Baseball Championship here. Both these teams making it here to Yogi Berra Stadium for the weekend. One of these teams will go home. The last game for Kean, that 15-game win streak was snapped by Rutgers Camden. And for Ramapo, they face defeat against Rowan as well. So one of these teams is going to be going home after this game. What kind of pressure does that put on both of these teams?
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because I feel as though these teams are coming from different directions into this game. Kean the tournament, not so important for them. They're going to be in the national tournament regardless of how this comes out, but it certainly would do better for their seeding should they win, at least a game here in the tournament. If they lose today, certainly wouldn't bode well, but they should still be more than safe. We'll see if that really plays a factor at all. I still feel as though in a conference like this, and where there's many, many rivalries, and these teams not too far from each other, that there will still be plenty of hard baseball to be played. I think Ramapo's got a little bit more pressure on them, per se, and I think that they also have a very, very solid shot at being in the tournament. Came in the rankings number 32 in the country, so at large, definitely still in play for them. However, I think they'd like to have the guarantee of being in, and that'd be by getting a couple of wins here this weekend, starting today.
Yeah, and Ramapo, they're the reigning defending undisputed NJAC champions after winning in 2024, so they're looking to repeat here in this year's tournament. Gilman's pitch is going to be swung on. That's going to be a base hit to start things off, as Novakowski is going to get on first.
That's how you start off the inning right there. It's a little bit in on the hands for Novakowski, but able to make that play. Able to serve it out to right field. It's a quick swing from him. He loads, builds a lot of power on that back hip, and then throws the hands through the zone, able to power that thing out to right center.
Higgins is up now. So he swung on that one. He walked his last time and was eventually brought home by that home run back in the second. Higgins has been busy at first base. A lot of plays being made in that side of the field as well. Next pitch swung on. It's 0-2 early. Oh-2 count. Gilman deals. Swung on and popped up shallow over towards second base. Play made to record the first out.
The catcher number 12, Jesse Florida.
So now we'll see Swarout come back up. He was, of course, the home run hitter in his last at-bat. And he's looking again to do more damage with a man on first.
Yeah, curious to see the sequel to that first at-bat for Swartout.
So the runner takes off for second. He'll slide in. Nobody home. Novakowski putting himself in a scoring position.
Roadrunners have not been afraid to run on Gilman up to this point in the game, and they've had success as well. Hasn't even been a throw on two of their stolen bases.
Yeah.
And Novakowski taking the extra base there, putting a guy in scoring position for the man that drove the first two runs home.
Ramapo very aggressive on the bags, to your point. So the next pitch is going to be swung on for strike one.
When you see him go off speed on those first two pitches, he gave up the homer on a fastball.
The 1-1 with one away. Gilman deals.
Another one.
Yeah, that one was into the dirt. It's going to be Novakowski staying in place, though.
Obviously, the second at-bat is where the chess match kind of begins. You take what you saw there in that first at-bat, you try to move on and make adjustments from there. Gilman dropping in 3 straight curveballs.
Gilman deals. Swung on as it goes foul. So now for another time today, we're going to see Gilman and how he responds to having traffic on the bags. You see Solari covering second base off should Gilman want to throw back. Here's the pitch again. This one upstairs brings the count full.
Always interesting to see Kean out in the field when the umpire is also wearing the baby blues. Looks like they've got 6 infielders right now.
Payoff pitch. Swung on and hit well down towards the field, and the play is made. Great catch made at center field. So that will be the second out of the inning. Nowakowski is going to return. Great play made by, I believe, Kyle Adorno.
Yeah, really nice play out in center field from Adorno. Another good swing put on this ball from Swartout. Gets ball in the outer half. I think it's just a little bit off the end of the bat. He's a little bit out in front, lunging for the pitch. Sends it a long way, but a nice play from Adorno. And there's the big second out.
Alamia's up. He swung big on that one for strike one. His last time up, he walked. He's also able to steal a base. That pitch downstairs. Count even at 1. So you see Solari taking a step off. Now the cover. And that just kept Nowakowski in check. It's a really interesting, really interesting sequence because you thought it was almost a little bit my games. You know, Solari wasn't really covering off that bag, but then at the last second he came in, the throw was made late.
Yeah, there's still nobody there with 2 outs. You're able to back off that runner, but I think Gilman just trying to keep him in check, make sure that lead's not too big.
So the next pitch was downstairs. That brings the count to 2-1 with 2 away.
Still, though, the primary lead not as important as the secondary lead out at second base right now for Nowakowski. He's got to put himself in a position to score on a base hit.
Pitch coming, swung on big to bring on strike number 2. Lalamia knows that any bat on ball could potentially bring home Nowakowski on second. 2-2 coming. Taking off to third, and he'll be in safe. Great awareness there for Nowakowski. Catcher not able to make the play in time.
I'm surprised to see Nowakowski take off for third there, but like I said, Ramapo has not been afraid at all to run. And they've had success so far. Chisano not able to throw anybody out, and obviously difficult to throw somebody out at third with a right-hander in the box.
Full count, 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit well towards center field, but popped up. Adorno's going to be under it, and now retire the side. So a dangerous situation there for Gilman, but is ultimately able to escape the inning without letting up a run.
Yeah, well, he gets out of it. Very, very nice to see him work out of an inning after the leadoff man reaches. And Nowakowski trying to create as much chaos as possible, steals second, eventually steals third. Gilman staying focused on the hitter, especially with 2 outs there. You don't really have to worry about that runner as long as you're able to focus on getting the out, and he does indeed finish off the inning in a strong way. I think that pitch in the zone, pretty good for Lalamia, but a little bit under it. Hits it up to center field, and that is that. Another strong inning and another solid bounce back from Gilman. He's gotten back to his normal business, as you would say, after that second.
Yeah, and CJ, for this matchup between both of these teams, it's Kean that is out to a 9-0 run in the last 9 games. So right now, Ramapo looking to do something that hasn't been done since 2021, and that's just defeating the Kean Cougars.
Yeah, that's a pretty spectacular stat right there, and it's pretty surprising to see. As I mentioned, this conference could really go back and forth. Anybody can win on any given day, and if Ramapo is able to get out of here with a victory against these Cougars, not only does it bode well for them staying in the tournament and for their national tournament hopes, I really think it gives them momentum to potentially make a run through the rest of the NJAC tournament.
Absolutely.
And you could just feel the energy from their dugout with every out, with every base hit, even the stolen bases. Everybody's up in that dugout and giving it everything they have, even if they're not on the field.
Yeah, I love the way that Ramapo has been approaching base running. Aggression is paying off in strides right now.
And perhaps Gilman just a good pitcher to run against because he really hasn't helped out Chisano with any of those pitches. The 3 pitches that they've taken off on have all been way out of the zone, and Chusano's kind of had to either block it or lunge to go make a catch and then try to throw off balance. They've taken advantage of that. We'll see if that continues throughout the rest of these games. I know those free bases are going to lead to something eventually.
Wrestley is up first. Watches that one go by him. It's going to even up the count 1-1.
And Martin coming into the inning, 67 pitches. All things considered, I think they're happy with where that's at.
He watches strike 2 go by him. It's 1-2. So for Wrestley in his first at-bat, flew out. He swings on that one again, fouls it off. So 1-2 is Wrestley. Looks to get things going the right way for Kean. His team's still down 2-0 to the Roadrunners. Here's the pitch. Swung on, good contact made as it goes out towards right center, and it's going to drop. A good base hit for Wrestley to start off the inning. That was a hard ball to field. There was 3 fielders for Ramapo in the area, but it just took, it almost just dropped like out of nowhere. It was a very awkward ball to field.
That ball out to the Bermuda Triangle out in right center between 3 defenders. It's a good piece of hitting with 2 strikes. It's off the hands, but muscled just enough to find some green out there. The leadoff runner on for Kean here. It's the first time they've had that. Matter of fact, it's the first time they've had a runner on with less than 2 outs.
Yeah, that's a very good point to make, is first pitch is going to be swung on by Brent Hillshire. 0-1 right now. So for Hillshire, he did not record a hit in his last at-bat as he swings at that one.
Yeah,
and it just falls out of play. Ramapo player was making a run for that one, but it was just out of distance for him. Clawins almost had a glove on that.
Yeah, I've got to respect that effort there. Long way to go for that ball.
I mean, you can see his hat out there in right field, so that is a really good illustrator of where he started from and where he ended up. He had to go all the way to try to get that one. So 0-2 count here, 0 outs in the top of the 5th. Pitch coming. Swung on well, hit down towards the line, back towards the wall, and it is out of here! A home run and a mean bat flip for Hillshire. He'll round the bags as this game is even. What a shot to the power alley in left field.
Unbelievable with 2 strikes in the count. Down to 0-2. Gets a pitch up and in. Martin, it's once again trying to beat him with the fastball as he's done so many times all day long.
And Hillshire's second home run of the year is going to electrify the Kean dugout. They come out to celebrate.
I mean, just turns on this baseball. I don't know how it stayed fair either. It looked like that ball was down toward the pole pretty much the whole way, but he's able to keep it fair. The bat flip toward first base. The Cougars are alive here in the 5th.
Yeah, and one swing of the bat just completely flipped this game on its head. Kean, with no responses to Ramapo, is able to come away with a big-time home run to tie things up.
And really one of the first hard hit balls we've seen all day off of Martin.
You know, it was so that ball is swung on. Teixeira's going to be out at first. But back to that home run. I mean, you have the power alley out there in left field, but I don't think that ball needed it. It was absolutely crushed, CJ.
No, that ball was torched. And Martin, interesting pitch from him. He wants to go up and in and try to blow it by the hitter instead of maybe snapping something off away from the plate. Hillshire was ready for it. You're right. I mean, just turns on it and smokes it. I know it's 308 in the corner, but That was well beyond that left field wall.
Solari's up now for Kean. Top of the lineup due afterwards. He flew out in his last at-bat. So for both teams, the middle of the lineup really been dominating.
And we've been talking about the woes in the beginning of the lineup for Kean, but they do a good job in the middle of the lineup of making up for that today. They've had some struggles the last two games at the top. Hillsheimer providing a boost of energy from the 6-hole.
It's 2-1 now on the count.
From the 7-hole, excuse me.
As that one swung on hard again, this time it will fall towards left field. And Caruso will record the out. 2 away now, as is going to be the top of the lineup with Messino coming back up. Not a productive day so far for him. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Martin deals, and that one's going to be right through. He'll get his first hit of the day. So the hits keep on coming for Kean as Don Messino has a 2-out single.
It's another fastball over the plate, and once again, Kean putting solid contact on it as they really have done throughout the entirety of the 5th inning. It's good to see Messino get on the board as well. That top of the lineup, 0 for so far today. Those top 4 spots in the order yet to record a hit.
This might be the right time and the right place for Kyle Adorno as he comes back up.
Those top 5 spots in the order have yet to get a hit until Messino right there.
I mean, the heart of the lineups for both of these teams have really been dominating as Adorno's going to foul that one off again. So Adorno back in the box. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit towards third. Relay made to first off the bag and safe. So the throw coming from third was just a little bit off. That drew Higgins off.
I mean, that might go down as an infield single right there. That's a pretty darn close play at first base, even if the throw's on line. Adorno hustling out of the box, and he forces a difficult play from Nowakowski over at third base. Had to rush the throw, ends up the first base line. And Adorno, yeah, indeed, going to go down as an infield single for him.
As Tyler Stone comes back up. That's exactly why you leg it out no matter where you hit the ball. You have to try to just hustle to first because you never know when a play like that could happen. So the first pitch is going to be in for a strike. Jack Martin up to 85 pitches on the day. That pitch swung on, hit well, but it's going to be just out of foul. Whew. That was close.
Very, very similar to the Hillsheimer home run. This is a breaking ball that kind of breaks right over the plate. And luckily for the Roadrunners and for Martin, Stone way out in front.
So Martin deals now, swung on again by Stone. 0-2, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, and Kean has runners on first and second. Really having an opportunity to break this one open and take their first lead of the day if they're able to get bat on ball.
Huge to get run support for your ace as well. Even to knot this game up was big. To take the lead would be bigger.
Here's the pitch upstairs for ball 2. Jack Martin certainly wants to take care of business here and prevent the bases from going loaded, perhaps. Stone settles in, swings on that one. It's going to go right through the gap, picked up by the shortstop. Play made to first, and he's safe. Runner coming home, sliding in is Messino, and Kean is going to take the lead of this ball game. The play was made to first. It was close.
That is how the best teams in the country run the bases right there. That's how you take extra runs and you make a difference in big games. What an unbelievable play for Kean to take the lead. First of all, it's a great play up the middle from Ciani. I thought he maybe could have had the out at second base. The force out there that could have ended things. Instead, he decides to throw to first, and hustling up the line is Stone. He beats it out right there. And Messino, I mean, you know he can run well. He rounds third from the beginning. I mean, he is treating this like it's up the middle and into center field. And Higgins never really realizes over at first base.
Messino never stopped, too. He
rounds third.
He rounded third, and he just went right in. So he looked over. He saw that the play wasn't made at first, and he just came home. So great heads-up base running from him. That's going to give the Cougars the lead.
I don't know if Higgins had a shot to get him at the plate to begin with, but he never even quite realized until it was too late. So great play to take the extra base.
Absolutely. 3-2 ball game here now. In the top of the fifth. For the first time today, the Cougars have the lead. That ball popped up over towards right field. And now I'll retire the side, but it's Kean who does serious damage. They take a 3-2 lead after a home run, and Messino coming home from third as well.
And you got to think back to those two infield singles in the inning. You first get one with Adorno with 2 outs in the inning as well. That should also be noted. All with 2 outs. Adorno beats out a ball at first base, forces the throw to go up the line. And then the next hitter, Stone, doing the exact same thing. Those are the 2 and 3 hitters. And I'm sure they'd like to have a ball out into the outfield. They've had incredible stats this season, but the important thing is when that ball's on the infield, you're able to beat that out at first base, you generate an extra run, and that's going to go down as an RBI single for Stone, all in a ball that didn't make it out of the infield.
Yeah, what a play there. So now Ramapo, for the first time today, is going to be playing for behind, and you could just feel the momentum swing in this game, CJ. How do you respond to what just happened? Now you have the opportunity to go up with your bats and do some damage.
Yeah, listen, that's the most important part. You take a punch when you're out in the field, but the great part is you get to wear the bats now on the other side of things. So Ramapo, I always say a big important thing for a game is after a big-time inning like Kean just had, you need a shutdown on the other side. 1, 2, 3. But if Ramapo is able to then answer, it will loom just as large for the outcome of this game. I'm looking toward the bottom half of the fifth here for a response.
We're going to see we're going to see Eric Knapp up first before Klons. And we go to the top of the lineup and see Caruso. So between those 3 hitters, we have no hits. So one of these batters is going to have to try to wake up this Ramapo side.
Leading off for Ramapo, the second baseman, number 4, Eric Knapp.
So Knapp grounded out his first time up.
Knapp had a good at-bat. His first time was robbed of a hit pretty much up the middle on a diving play from Solari. But generated good contact, worked the count, and going to need another good at-bat from him here if Ramapo wants to get the leadoff runner aboard and try to spark a rally of their own.
First pitch was a ball for Gilman, 66 pitches. As that one is going to be outside as well. But it's only had 1 strikeout, and apart from kind of a messy second inning, he's looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's really settled in since that home run and since the end of that second inning. Has kept that pitch count under control.
Snap showed bunt there. Pulled back, but strike's going to be called nonetheless.
Yeah, the strikeout thing, something to keep an eye on. It's very uncharacteristic. Like I said, this guy's got the most strikeouts in the entire country right now at the Division III level.
2-1. That one got away from him to bring the count up to 3-1.
Also got to wonder about the availability of Jack Martin through the rest of the game. 92 pitches through 5 innings. We saw action in the Ramapo pen there in the 5th inning.
Pitch upstairs, and it's going to be a leadoff walk for Ramapo. Tying run goes to first.
Number 14, Robert Wall.
As Klons is going to come up.
Well, I feel like all the scoring chances have come from Gilman walks. That's what has started this offensive attack for Ramapo. Their patience in the count. Great job from Knapp there as Gilman falls behind. There's another ball there.
Yeah, Klons definitely wanting to be a little bit patient here. Gilman throws one downstairs.
And these are guys you can't afford to walk as you work back toward the top of the lineup with Caruso, Ciani, Bailey, and Novakowski.
That pitch swung on down the line, but it's going to go foul. Knapp was taking a solid lead off of first as well, so keep your eye on him to potentially try to take off for second.
And Ramapo's been running in off-speed counts. I'd check next time there's 2 strikes and see if he wants to take off from first.
Gilman deals that one hit well over to second. Chance for a double play. The flip over to second is over the head and safe. So they'll get the lead runner Knapp at second. And the batter Klons will be safe at first. So it's going to be one away.
The left fielder, number 45.
Go to the top of the lineup now with Caruso.
Frustrating to not turn the double play there if you're Kean, but important to at least get that lead run. It's a hard hit ball through the middle. And I think for Collins, he puts a good swing on it. He's happy to see himself on base, but a fielder's choice there.
Yeah, but he legged it out again towards first to keep himself alive. First pitch seen is a ball. So for Caruso today, still hasn't recorded a hit. He flew out and grounded out.
Hillsheimer playing way in at third.
Taking off, and now we got a little bit of a pickle here towards second. The slide in is out. It was a close play there. As it's going to be Claude saying that he was safe. He stays on the bag. Had the out call. Now we're going to have some things to talk about here. It was hard to see what exactly happened. You had the umpire covering off the play. And now we're going to get our first replay of the day here in this game. And it's going to be a big call as well.
It's going to be a very big call. And you see Clawins there taking off from first base, and that's the risk you run when you're a team that you want to run the bases against a left-handed pitcher. Finally, Gilman picking the right time to go check over there at first base, and that's a clean pickoff. They throw to second. The throw, though, a little bit high, and that did leave the opportunity for Clawins to get his foot in underneath on the slide. Like I said, out on the field is out. Clawins immediately, though, motioning safe. Didn't really leave second base, just kind of motioned toward the dugout until that review came. He seems pretty confident in the fact that he is indeed safe, but we'll have our first replay review.
No, it was a good heads-up play from Clawins. I mean, that's exactly what you do in those kind of situations. You don't leave the bag if you really do believe that you were safe in that situation.
And Montclair State, obviously, the capabilities for this replay system, and they've got some pretty good angles, too, from along the dugout. That throw just came in a little bit high. It allowed him to maybe slide under it.
It was 50-50, right? Because I think the throw was there on time. But really the debate is, did the glove get down in time?
And
it was close because the ball was thrown a little bit high before being brought down. It was 50-50.
And they've obviously got much better angles than whatever we were able to see from up here. Upon first instinct, I wasn't going to be surprised if the call was safe. But when the throw beats the runner by that much and it's a bang-bang play, a lot of times you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. The good thing about Yogi Berra Stadium here, once again, is that we can go back and check and make that decision.
Absolutely. You don't want to get any calls wrong, especially in such a major situation. Still await the call from the umpires.
This is something new here at the stadium this year. We've seen it used a bunch, and I have seen calls overturned. They've got a lot of looks from alongside the dugout, from near home plate, and shots of every single base, and pretty high quality as well.
Yeah, Klons, who's on second right now, who's called out, I should say. He's going to try to remain there during this replay. Major situation for him because that would put him in scoring position. Ramapo, of course, trying to tie the game.
Yeah, and especially with the top of the lineup here, this is a very, very big call.
So a lot of drama here on Tournament Saturday.
Absolutely. We're only in game one here. A full day's worth of games here on the Red Hawk Sports Network.
And the call has been confirmed on the field. The runner at second is out. Klons will go take a seat. It's going to be 2 away for this team.
Great work from Gilman. And that's how you put your foot down right there when you've got guys who are just running the bases all over you. You need one. It hasn't come in the form of a caught stealing, but rather in the form of a pickoff right there.
So Caruso swings at the first pitch and pops it up towards center. And that ball is caught to retire the side. So no runs scored there for Ramapo, unable to respond after a 3-0 inning from Kean.
What a difference one pitch makes right there. You get the pickoff, and obviously a lot of time in between pitches with the replay, but the next pitch, you're able to retire Caruso. You're looking at a man on second with 1 out, and then 1 pitch later, you go from that to what would be the end of the inning. So very, very impressive for Gilman to stay sharp at the other end of the review and finish off that inning strong. It seems as though he's finally starting to find his flow state.
Yeah, Martin's going to remain out there for Ramapo. He's through 5 innings now, 92 pitches as we were talking about earlier. So I wonder if there's any activity going on in the Ramapo bullpen. It's always a little harder to tell with the home team what's going on in their dugout because you have the batter's eye. You can't really see as much from my vantage point.
Yeah, very interesting dugout setup here. Left center field, you've got that tiny little window for the home dugout and for that bullpen, I meant. But you never know what's going on out there. I think that, when Montclair State plays here and when NJIT play here, they take that kind of as an advantage as the other team can't see as much with what's going on out there. The right center bullpen, much more expansive window out in the bullpen and slot in which you're able to watch the game. Feel bad for anybody out in the home team dugout hoping to catch a glimpse of the game because you're packing a lot of eyes into a small amount of space.
Chisano was going to lead things off for Kean here in the top of the 6th. Chisano watches that one go by him for ball 1. His last 2 at-bats struck out and grounded out. Chisano, another player, has been busy behind the plate. That one downstairs for ball number 2. He's had to deal with a lot of traffic on the bags for Ramapo. He's responded to it rather well, I would say.
Absolutely, and
speaking of responding well, he's up to a 3-0 count right now to lead things off.
And now hoping to get it on the offensive side of things. 0 for 2 with the strikeout, but way ahead here on Martin.
Watches that one go by him for a strike. Martin just trying to get something in the zone. Three-one coming from Martin. Pitches in the zone for strike 2. Just panning the outside to bring the count full. It's been a good comeback at bat right here for Martin. Here's the payoff. Swung on, strike 3. Jack Martin leads things off with a strikeout, his 5th of the day. Excuse me, 6th of the day.
Yeah, I think maybe got a little bit nervous in the dugout when you see Martin come out to start the new inning at 92 pitches and then go 3-0 immediately, but an incredible fight back and able to finish it off with a powerful fastball. He still looks sharp here, 95 pitches in.
So first pitch was outside. We have Wesley up for Kean. Watches that one go by him as well. For Wesley, it's recorded a hit, and he's also flown out. Swings on that one, it's fouled away. Two-one for Wesley. This is a one-out situation, nobody on. That pitch is inside for a ball.
It's a great take right there. That back foot slider, and he's able to lay off of it. Nice patience.
Count worked up to 3-1. Pitch coming. Swung on and hit well. It's going to be a base hit for Wesley. So with one out, he'll make his way to first. And now Kean is in business.
Well, that's just textbook right there. You get ahead in the count, you get a pitch to hit, and you work your way aboard with that. You showed off the patience first and then the hitting ability. Really solid work there from the sophomore out of Washington Township.
Hillsheimer up again. We all know what he did in his last at-bat as he gets hit in the shoulder. Yes, the pitch from Martin just got away from him. He was hit in the shoulder. And he'll gladly make his way over to first. So his last at-bat, what I was about to say, was that massive home run that tied things up. Now the Kean coach is going to want to have a word with the umpire to try to protect his pitcher, or protect his hitter.
Yeah, I really don't think any ill intent behind that. I mean, we're in the NJAC tournament here. I don't really think there's any reason to hit a guy when you're losing by a run and there's already somebody on base. I think it's a guy that's thrown 100 pitches today, and now you're starting to see here in the 6th inning more than ever, he's kind of getting away from his command.
Hillsheimer did actually have that bat flip after the home run.
I understand.
I don't want to make any assumptions here. That one swung on well. Back towards the center field fence and caught. Runner's going to tag and make his way. And Kean has runners on the corners.
Thought the Sheriff may have gotten one there. He barrels that ball out to right center field, but it's a nice play out in the gap. Lalamia able to track it down. Runners on the corners here with 2 gone. Ryan, I agree with what you're saying. I understand.
And it's not. I'm not making. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying that, just reminding of what did happen. So I don't want to make, say that's the law. Like, my word is not the law. That's just something that is of note.
Certainly, and Neil Iavero going out there and probably understands that. I feel like during a normal regular season game, you may have an argument there, but seasons are on the line right here.
Yeah, Solari swung in that one. It's a big spot for him in the 9-hole with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Real opportunity for him to open up the game as that one goes out. So 1-1 count. So Solari looking for his first hit of the day. That one inside. 2-1 count now. Jack Martin looking to escape this inning.
Martin wants to get this hitter right here. Do not want to go to Messino back at the top of the lineup with the bases loaded.
He showed bunt there, pulled back, watched the ball go by him, an opportunity to load the bags for the Cougars.
Tried to spin the off speed, I believe, and missed badly with it.
So the 3-1 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for a strike.
When he threw the off speed, I thought maybe he's lost the trust in the fastball, but that's a great pitch right there. Elevates it and gets Solari to go after it. Now he's got to execute one more pitch here. Runner will be off from first.
The runner takes off for first. Is fouled off again.
Look at that. They tried to manufacture that run with a little trickery. They had Hillsheimer over at first base fall down and try to attract attention and see if they can get the runner from third to come to the plate. And Riceley, Martin never even looked at him.
Didn't even bite on that one.
And no point in doing that. That run doesn't matter if you get the hitter here.
Full count coming. Swung on and fouled off again. So yeah, we've seen those mind tricks work out, and I think it's one of my favorite plays in baseball because I love the strategy behind it, the trickery, the awareness, when teams are able to execute it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't know if that's the right spot to do it. Martin obviously dialed in. He's looking at pitch 110 right here.
Full count. Swung on and missed for a strikeout. Jack Martin is going to get his 7th of the game. He is on fire.
Well, you can tip your cap to Jack Martin. Could be one of his final starts here at the collegiate level. Pitching in the NJAC tournament for the final time in his senior season and coming through. I mean, you can look back at that 5th inning. Things kind of fell apart for him. But what an impressive job to finish strong and work out of that jam right there. Could have totally avalanched and changed the way that this game looks. Instead, a very, very good job. And on pitch, 113 finishes the inning. Works out of the jam, and this is still a 1-run game.
Yeah, and I mean, you felt that veteran presence there in that last inning as well. He just stayed calm the whole time. There was a lot of trickery, a lot of noise, a lot of traffic around the bags, but he stayed focused and locked onto the action the entire time. So credit to him for staying locked in and continuing to have a great outing.
And even when you don't have your best stuff, and I think that's something that you can feel as you go on about your day, I think Martin, you could ask him, he'd agree there in the 5th and 6th innings. You see the command get away. He's getting behind in counts a little bit more. Maybe you lose a couple of miles per hour on that fastball. Maybe the breaking ball has a little less break to it. But it's all about your composure and the way that you go about attacking these hitters, controlling what you can control. And that's exactly what Martin did. How many times did he have to fight back from down in the count 2-1, 3-1, 3-0? And he made it happen, did what he had to do. Maybe not the prettiest performance, so to speak. But like I said, keeping the Roadrunners in this game, they only trail by 1.
Roadrunners come back up to bat here in the home 6th. First pitch is going to be downstairs and outside. Gilman's still out there for Kean. So we have Ciani up to bat first. Ciani gets a nice hit. It's right to Messino. Makes the play. 1 away now.
Frustrating for Ciani there. And I think that's a hack that he's happy with. Lines one out to shortstop. Probably his best swing of the day, but that's just baseball sometimes.
Zach Bailey back up. He struck out and grounded out in his last 2 appearances. Swung big at that one for strike 1. Gilman settling in. He's not allowed to run since the bottom of the 2nd.
Bailey's looked a little bit uncomfortable at the plate against Gilman so far today.
So he gets good contact there, but it's popped up back towards Adorno, and he makes the catch. So very quickly now, it's going to be 2 away.
2 away, but I think 2 really good swings and 2 hard-hit baseballs for the Roadrunners, both just finding a glove. And you've got 2 outs now, but I like what they're doing here against Gilman. Seems as though they're really starting to understand what he's doing as this inning continues, and now you've got a guy who was able to get a base knock off of him his last time.
Novakowski up. Took the first pitch for a ball. This one framed very well for a strike. Novakowski, today a hit and a foul out. Stole his way around the bags as well. That one is downstairs for ball 2. And it's the heart of the lineup that's really been taking care of business for Ramapo. Only 2 hits on the day. It was the home run from Swartout and the hit from Novakowski. Since count is evened up 2-2. Count even with 2 outs. Swung on and missed. A big strikeout for Gilman as he makes his way off the field. A great inning for him. Score remains 3-2.
And that's how you finish off an inning right there. The Roadrunners looking just a little bit more comfortable with those first 2 hitters in Ciani and Bailey. Then you get to the left-hander and Novakowski off balance and unable to come through. Gilman, 3rd strikeout of the day, and he's really begun to push himself through this game. I mean, we're now getting to the point where he's going to go 7-8 at minimum.
Yeah, he has looked, apart from that home run he allowed, he's looked very good this entire outing. So it's great to see one of the star players in this conference continue to dominate on the mound. That's really been a problem for Ramapo today. Only 2 runs recorded. And credit to them for doing as much as they've been able to do with the limited hits that they've had.
Well, I think back in the 2nd inning, the one thing that you saw was they took advantage of the free passes that Gilman was giving up. He's got 3 walks that he's issued in this start, and he's only got 3 strikeouts, so not a great ratio there. It's been a lot of balls in play where they just haven't necessarily been able to come through. Only 2 hits, and they've got 3 walks. You saw the home run in the 2nd inning. That's taking advantage of a free pass and of an extra base runner. The home run able to bring him home. Other situations where they've had walks and they've had guys on base, though, they just haven't been able to pass the baton and follow that up in any way.
Ryan Lasko is going to be coming on now for Ramapo. Sir Jack Martin goes very deep into the pitch count. The senior pitcher out of Wall, New Jersey, is going to be trying to lock things down here in the middle innings.
Yeah, and Lasko, his 20th appearance of the year, every single one of them being out of the pen. Probably the most trusted reliever on this Ramapo team. A 2.1 ERA, a 1.2 whip, and opponents hitting .263 against him. Lasko getting a lot of opportunities to come into games this season. 22 strikeouts in 34 innings of work. It's a lot of contact, but he's found a way to get it done.
First pitch swung off and fouled out. It's not going to be an easy start to the outing for Ryan Lasko. He's going to have to face the top of the lineup. It's going to be Messino, Adorno, and Stone coming up for the Cougars.
They've got to find a way to keep themselves in this game and give themselves a shot. Gilman's not going to give up a ton. You've probably got 1 to 2 more innings where you're facing him. You want to keep this within 1.
1-1 count. Swung on down the third base line. Throw made after some hustle. And that's going to be the first out for Ryan Lasko.
Good job from Novakowski over at third base. We've seen a couple of different plays where hitters working hard up the line, and he's had to rush the play. He's made some mistakes, but that time, nice job coming through the baseball and making the throw, getting the leadoff runner retired.
Kyle Adorno comes back up. He alongside Kean have really woken up the last time around the order. takes ball one. Top of the 7th, 1 out here. The next pitch swung on is going to go through the gap between first and second. An easy base hit for Kyle Adorno. He just continues to rake them in here as they'll have a man on.
Yeah, Knapp shaded up toward the middle. And good job by Adorno going with the pitch, working the other way. And maybe a second baseman playing at normal depth, able to make that play. Knapp up toward the middle and able to get there.
So Stone comes on. He had that third and final RBI so far as he hits that ball over. Chance for a double play. Makes its way around. Runner's going to be safe at first. The runner at second has been retired. So Adorno will go back to the dugout, and Stone will be safe at first.
The designated hitter, number 5, CJ Tomilovic.
So still 2 away for this team with CJ Tomilovic coming back up. 2 strikeouts today for him. Still looking for his first hit. Tomilovic watches as that one goes right by him for ball 1. Throw back to first. The runner is safe. See Higgins covering off that bag. Trying to catch Stone off the bag. Throw back again for the second time in a row. Same result.
10 of 15. Stone on stolen base attempts this season. Willing to run, but probably not going anywhere right now, especially after those 2 checks.
Tomilovic calls timeout. Still want to know on this count. Stone with his solid lead as Tomilovic is going to ground it off. Play made to first, and that's going to retire to the side. No runs scored here in the top of the 7th.
That's a necessary shutdown inning. Good work, Lasko. Coming into the game, he's got some tough at-bats there with the top half of the order, but made it happen. Everything was on the ground. Kept that weak contact. And the Roadrunners still a fighting chance here. I mean, 9 outs to work with. Don't know how many of them are going to be against Gilman, but they need to try to take advantage.
Yeah, back third of this game coming up as we go into the stretch.
You can't depend on when Gilman's out of the game and when they go to the pen to try to get some runs. Don't know when that's going to be, and especially at the Division III level, you see guys go 120 pitches, go 130 pitches. You could see him very well out there for the 9th inning trying to close this game out. You've got to attack right now and try to knot this game up.
Yeah, and I mean, for Gilman, though, how big is it to have your starting pitcher in for as long as he's been in? Because you have to remember, it's not just today. It's a whole weekend you have to have your arms ready. So preserving the bullpen has to be a big factor here as well.
Absolutely. You're 100% right, and that's not something that's really talked about a ton. This bullpen's going to be used and abused throughout the weekend here, especially for whichever team is able to win and advance in this game. For Gilman now working into the 7th inning, listen, I think those bullpen arms are well aware that they're going to be throwing a little bit more than they'd love to necessarily, and maybe they're accustomed to throughout the season, but they're going to be needed this weekend, and Gilman trying to save their arms as much as possible. I think, it can be appreciated by anybody out there in the pen that's expecting to be used today, tomorrow, and Monday.
Yeah, I think this back third of the game is going to be absolutely insane. Both of these teams facing elimination because they lost in the first round. So we're going to see some desperate baseball, and desperate baseball is the best kind of baseball.
And that is what I love about double elimination as well. But you don't see it in many sports. Baseball's the one where you really get a chance to see how it works and how teams are able to bounce back from a loss.
That first pitch scene is outside. Gilman remains out there.
It doesn't necessarily take the urgency away from the winner's bracket, but you really just kind of see it turned up a notch when you didn't know there was another notch in the loser's bracket.
You see Higgins up to bat, taking ball 2, walked in one of his at-bats, looking for his first hit. Two balls, no strikes. So that one was a heater right down the center for the first strike. Wind just becoming a little bit of a factor as you see the three switching directions. Pitch downstairs, swung on big to even up the count. So for Higgins, he has a 2-2 count, still looking to record his first hit. The 2-2. Swung on right down the center, will go over the pitcher's mound, and a base hit for him. The first baseman gets to first base after the pitch just goes right by Gilman.
Catcher number 12, Jesse Florida.
And that was a mistake there. With 2 strikes in the count, Gilman, he tries to throw that curveball. He leaves it over the plate. And Higgins, a great job of getting to it. Maybe not expecting to see a off-speed pitch up in the zone. But he's able to swat it through the middle, through Gilman. And the leadoff runner aboard here for the Roadrunners.
And with Swartout coming back up, can Lightning strike twice as he fouls that one off?
This sets up a very interesting at-bat.
Yeah, I mean, he had that massive 2-run shot. The only scoring that's been done for this team so far. Question is, can he do it again? 1 strike, no outs for Jesse Swartout. Watches that one go by him as he receives his first ball.
So we saw Gilman, the first at-bat, throwing more fastballs. He gives up the home run on a fastball. And Swartout's second at-bat pretty much threw all off-speed. See the direction it goes now to 1-1 count. And Swartout squaring for bunt.
Yeah, third baseman comes up to cover, pulls back at the last second.
Interesting
Hit
there.
a strike. So Hilsheimer went in to cover. Always love to see how showing bunt puts your third baseman out of position.
I don't know about just letting Gilman attack the zone. I think maybe a little bit of a bluff from Ramapo.
1-2 coming, swung on, and that one's hit high towards the power alley, but ultimately he's going to be fouled.
And ended up on the hill out there. That ball went a long way. It was pretty much foul off the bat, but especially for being off the end of the bat, I was surprised at how far the ball went.
So Swartout still on the 1-2, has Higgins on first. That one fouled down the first baseline again.
Gilman still staying all around the zone here with 2 strikes. Just threw the fastball. See if he wants to break it off and throw something in the dirt, see if Swartout wants to chase, but obviously very difficult a lot of times to get catchers to chase. They have such great eyes.
Gilman over 90 pitches now delivers. That ball hit over towards center, Adorno under it, and he'll record the out. So it was a bit of a duel there for the at-bat. Ultimately, it's going to be Gilman who wins that.
Yep. He goes with the backdoor curveball, slider, but he keeps it close enough to the zone that Swartout doesn't really have any choice, and once again, it's off the end of the bat for him, much like his fly out back in the 4th. And it's another victory for Gilman. After giving up that home run in their first at bat against one another, he's able to win the next 2 battles.
Alamia's up after a throw back to first. Quiet day for him as well. He was able to record a walk, but was not brought home. Pitch coming outside again.
They're worried about Higgins over at first base, maybe trying to take off and get into scoring position. You see Gilman with the check, and then they work outside, but just 3 stolen bases so far this season for Higgins.
That pitch framed in for a strike. I think that's a good mentality to have. Watch the runner at first, because with 1 out, you don't want to potentially hit into a double play.
And Higgins is dancing over there, but
So that ball is hit well out of play.
I think mostly just trying to throw off Gilman's rhythm. Even if you are trying to evade the double play, I don't know that Higgins is the right guy to send in this situation, especially with a lefty on the mound. But you are getting down toward the bottom half of the order.
Alamillo swings at that one again.
Nice play over in the dugout.
Yeah, it looked like a player made a play on that one. Unfortunately, it's not banana ball rules. It doesn't count, but still impressive out of the dugout. One-two still. Swung on and fouled off again.
And just everything on the outer edge against these righties. Alamillo just having to bunker down and spoil a couple of these pitches. But at some point, going to have to take advantage of it. Need a liner to right field.
Gilman's...
That hole's open between first and second.
Yeah, Gilman's pitch count well over 100 now. Gilman deals. Outside. Finally some movement on the count. It's 2-2.
Even the off speed, he's starting it outside and working it back over the plate, or at least trying to. That time it never made its way back toward the plate. But I mean, just everything.
See movement in the Kean bullpen right now. As that one swung on for strike three. A huge strikeout for Gillen.
The second baseman, number 4, Eric Knapp.
Alamillo will take a seat as that brings up out number 2.
Huge pitch right there. Gilman, you mentioned it. Pitch 104 from him right there. And he set it up with a couple of breaking balls and then delivers the fastball, blows it by Alamillo. 2 gone.
Throw back to first. We see Knapp come back up. Hasn't recorded a hit, but has walked. Runner on first as Higgins remains there. That ball a little loose. An opportunity perhaps for Higgins to go to second, but instead he stays put.
Absolutely an opportunity there, and you see the reaction from the Ramapo coaching staff. Got to take that extra base. Get a good dirt ball read, especially when you're over at first. You can see the trajectory of that ball. Ball skips up to the plate, and Higgins could be on second right now.
That one swung on and fouled off. Solari also out of place there as well. Would have had to make the trip all the way to second, and would have had to get the tag as well. Bottom of the 7th, the tying run is on first as he swung on that one. Bring up strike 2. Jason Gilman, the senior pitcher, looking for a gem here to get out of the bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Swung on outside, strike number 3 to retire the side. Another huge strikeout for Gilman.
If that is indeed it for Jacob Gilman, and that'll be it for him on the weekend. If so, what a terrific performance from the senior. I mean, to me, this is one of his most impressive starts, and you can look past the score sheet. You can look past those games where he's racking up 15 strikeouts, complete game shutouts, things like that. This was very, very impressive.
Absolutely. Hits that outing.
Hits the rough patch of adversity there in the second inning with the home run, the walk, and then the homer. Some more command issues in that inning. And since then, unbelievably breezy. Has given up just 2 hits since that time. 3 total for the game. And able to power through 7 innings. He saves arms in the pen. It's 108 pitches on the day. And Jason Gilman, an absolute horse, doing what he does best here for the Cougars and putting them in a position where they can win this game.
We go to the top of the 8th here on the campus of Montclair State University. Looks like Ryan Lasko is going to stay out there for the Roadrunners. Only had 8 pitches in his first inning, faced the top half of the lineup, so good work for him. Now he faces the heart of the lineup. How does he continue to press his advantage?
Absolutely, and I was very impressed with Lasco's first inning of work in relief. You said he faced the top of the order. A lot of base runner, but for the most part looked very, very confident and finished off the inning with limited damage and limited traffic as well. As I mentioned, I mean, his role at this point is to keep the Roadrunners in this game. And through the first inning of work, able to do that. Now back out to the mound to try to accomplish that again. It always gets a little bit dicey with relievers on the up-downs when they get to their second inning of work after coming out of the dugout rather than the pen. But at the Division III level, and Lasco, also somebody who was able to be stretched out, actually went 1 2/3 his last appearance, so more than accustomed for this moment.
So John Chisano swung on a breaking ball to bring up strike 1. Swung on another to put himself down 2-0. So the breaking ball coming out early for Ryan Lasco.
Yeah, that time going upstairs with it too. Don't know if that was on purpose or not, but in an awkward enough spot to be able to generate the swing and miss.
0-2 coming. Swung on outside, and that's going to be a strikeout for Lasco. That's the way he wants to start off this inning. So we got 3 pitches in 3 different spots. There was one inside, one upstairs, and then one outside.
That's a great job to mix locations and to really kind of change the way that the batter's thinking about something. I mean, when you've attacked the inner half and you've generated success there, a lot of times you'll see pitchers, if they get a swing and miss in a certain location, they'll go back right back to that location and try to do it again. Instead, Lasco keeping it fluid, mixing it up, keeping it fresh, and working away for ultimately strike 3.
Dan Restley up as he faced 2 balls in a row. It's Lasco who's going back to the breaking ball in those last 2 pitches as well. So for Restley, he's been having a good day. 2 hits, and that might be his third as it's stretching out towards right field and bounces off the wall. Restley will make his way to second with a standing double. 3 hits on the day for him. He's been having an absolute masterclass of a hitting day. 3 hits for him.
Yeah, he's been ultra comfortable these last couple of at-bats. It's been singles, but this time able to generate a little bit of a force behind that. And he charges it out over the head. I thought this ball had a chance to get out at first as well, but stays in the yard nonetheless. Kean, a runner in scoring position here, their 9th hit of the day.
Name of the game is Assurance as of right now here in the top of the 8th, and Restley put himself in a great spot. Teixeira comes back up. Had a hit earlier into this game. It was a hit very similar to that, instead it was a single rather than a double. Teixeira watches that one go by him for a ball, counts even at 1. One out, a man on second. That ball swung on right through the gap. We'll see if Restley's waved over. He'll be stopped at third. Runners on the corners for the Cougars.
And now the Cougars beginning to pass the baton. You get a good swing off the bat of Riceley, and then Hilsheimer follows it up. And obviously we've seen him hit a couple of balls hard as well today. Puts it through the hole. Good job from Ramapo to be able to cut off that run from coming to the plate. This is going to be a crucial run here. I expect anything hit to the corners to come to the plate if there is a play. And other than that, trying to turn a double play that'll get you out of the inning.
So 1-run ball game here in the top of the 8th. Pitch outside. It's Teixeira. Eight-hitter being put in a big spot here, as that ball is framed well and inside for a strike. So a big chance here for the Cougars to open things up. As the Throw is made back towards first. I think this is a smart play there for Lasco to try to keep the runners in check. The 1-1. Swung on, hit well, and that's going to be an RBI for Teixeira. Wesley comes home, and that will be a 4-2 advantage now for the Kean Cougars. They'll have runners on first and second.
Well, now they're beginning to pile it on. Great work from the bottom of the order pretty much all day from the Cougars. And Teixeira there, a sweet swing this ball. Once again, just out over the plate from Lasco. And easily pulled into right field. It brings a run home. And there is much needed insurance here for the Cougars, with Gilman potentially coming out of the game.
As Solari comes back up, it's been those, he shows bunt there, got just a piece of the bat off to foul that off. But if you look at the numbers right now, it's really been that middle and back in the lineup for Kean that's been doing really well. You have Wesley with 3 hits, Hillsheimer with 2 hits and a home run on top of that. You have Teixeira with 2 hits as well.
Sometimes that's where it's most important. Obviously, you'll have your days where you get the productivity from the top of the order, but it's so important what they do there at the bottom half. And these are still collegiate hitters. You know, these are still good hitters. They are playing at the next level. They have earned their way to be here, and they are more than capable of coming through, and we have seen it so far this afternoon.
Pitch coming. He shows bunt again, this time called for a strike.
Gilman's got to allow Solari to get this bunt down. He's a good runner. Try to throw something on the inner half and keep it from going up the third base line. It's going to be difficult to throw him out. That ball does go toward first, but I suppose now he won't be squaring.
That ball popped up shallow towards right field. Fonz is under and he gets it. Runners return to the bags. So Hillsheimer decides not to tag there. Now bring up the top of the order for Kean. It's going to be Dominic Messino. He's going to be up there.
Good job of working around the plate, Lasco. Able to avoid the bunt. And Solari, it would have been not necessarily, I know he's showing right away, and that gives the sacrifice look. But when you got a guy that runs as well as him, you're really trying to bunt your way on base. So good job to prevent that.
So head coach Ryan Rinsky is going to make his way out to the mound, and that's going to be it looks like, for Ryan Lasco. The bullpen door swings open in center field, and we'll have a new pitcher. So Lasco is going to come out after 1 2/3 inning pitched, throwing only 24 pitches. He's allowed 4 hits and a run. We'll see who makes his way into the game for Ramapo.
And I suppose now the most important thing is that this stays at a 2-run game. 2 is manageable. It's a bloop and a blast. Once you get to 3 and above, especially with only 6 outs to work with here, if you're Ramapo, really start to try to do the math on that. It becomes difficult. It's like Nick Dan Brownie is going to come into the game here.
Yeah, Nick Dan Brownie's coming in. The dual position player. He plays infield as well as pitcher. The senior out of Barnegat, New Jersey.
Yeah, not too much hitting from him this season, but has made 8 starts. Just 2 appearances out of the pen up until this point. So number 3 here. A 3.23 ERA, a 1.19 whip. Opponents hitting 200 against him, so having their fair share of difficulty. His last relief appearance was back in March, so this should be very, very interesting. It's actually against Montclair State. So we'll see where he goes from here, as his last couple of starts maybe not going to plan. 4 runs in 6 innings in each of them.
So it's going to be the senior who's going to be asked to keep things alive here for Ramapo. You know, it's ironic, CJ. You know, baseball is such a long season. You know, you play so many games. We started things off back in February. And now we're here at the end of the semester. So many games played between all these teams. But it comes down to the last game. It comes down to one 9-inning stretch. So it's kind of the irony and almost the pain and the beauty of baseball.
Absolutely. And like I said, there's obviously still a shot for both of these teams to continue their season after today and after the outcome of this tournament, regardless of what happens. But you're absolutely right. It's such a long season, and it's a season that requires a lot of understanding that there's going to be ups and downs, that some days you're going to be good, some days you're not going to have your best stuff. But when it comes time toward this NJAC tournament and really just toward the postseason in general, 9 innings, 27 outs becomes the most important thing.
Top of the lineup coming out for the Cougars with 2 outs. Dangerous situation with Messino coming on. Dan Brownie releases his first pitch, breaks outside for a strike. And that's the way he wants to start off this appearance. Interestingly enough, Ryan Lasko also came out when the Roadrunners were at the top of the order as well. Excuse me, the Cougars were at the top of the order. Second pitch outside for a ball.
Some late break there on that off speed. It's just off the plate. I like that pitch, though. He starts it up top, runs its way off the plate.
2 outs, 2 runners on for the Cougars. They look to build on a 4-2 lead. Pitch is inside for a strike. For Dan Brown, he's only 1 away from escaping this inning. One, 2 coming. Just outside for a ball.
Dan Brownie trying to work that outer edge and get a call. Home plate umpire not willing to expand. That's a great take right there.
That ball popped up towards center field. Play has to be made. I think he made the catch, and he did. A leaping, diving catch in the center field position to retire the side. That's unbelievable. For a second, it looked like the ball just slipped, but I think he got it clean.
This play keeps the Roadrunners in the game, Ryan. What an unbelievable effort out in center field. I don't know how this ball doesn't get down. Lalamia, has to go a long way to go get this ball.
Yeah,
once again, kind of in no man's land. The absolute last piece of leather on the glove, able to make that catch. Phenomenal.
The umpires will talk about this one, but nonetheless, the effort made by Lalamia was unbelievable. He started off from kind of towards the warning track. He was playing far back, ran all the way up, and dove for the ball in front of his teammate.
They are going to look at this.
Yeah, we'll get a look at this one because it was close. It was definitely close. But nonetheless, what an effort made as we're going to get our second review of the game.
And once again, they will have better angles than whatever you are seeing on your screen. Very, very difficult to tell from this far away, especially with 3 guys running out there at once, kind of maybe get in the way of any angle of seeing the ball bounce on the ground. Kean thinks it's a trap. I think at this point in the 8th inning, you might as well use your challenge if you can. But still, what an unbelievable effort. I don't even know how he got near this ball. And if this stands as a catch, what an unbelievable play it would be. And an incredible boost of energy for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, and for Lalamia, what a play for him. And you said it earlier, and I have to agree with you. That saved the game for Ramapo. It kept it in striking distance because if that ball drops, the runners come around for Kean, and they're up 5-2, perhaps even 6-2. So that was a critical play being made. Now, my question is, if the call is overturned and was dropped, I wonder where the base runners will be lined up.
Yep, that would be very, very interesting. If that ball is indeed down, I'm certain that at least one run would score with Hilsheimer coming in from second base. I don't think Teixeira scores or could have been, they could say that he scores. I would think he probably gets placed on second or third base. And it'll go down as a single for Messino. Yeah, they will also have to sort that out. It's another thing to consider. One run should at least score on the play, though, making it 5-2. If this is indeed overturned, which, I don't know, more and more Roadrunners headed out with their gloves and caps back out toward the field. I don't know if that's any indication. Nobody from Kean ready to go out to the field. They've got their helmets and sliding mitts on.
Yeah, we're still waiting the call here in the 8th inning as the umpires make their way out of the back rooms of Yogi. Let's get the call. And it is upheld. The catch will stand. A huge play for Ramapo is confirmed. So that will be that for the inning. That'll retire the side as we go to the bottom of, we'll go to the top of the inning now.
And we'll see if the Roadrunners are able to make anything of it. I will say that Jason Gilman's back out on the mound, Ryan.
Unbelievable. He could be trying to go for a complete game. And Ramapo, I think it's a good idea. The Roadrunners haven't had a lot of success against this guy all day. They've only had 3 hits, 2 RBIs, so a lot of potential for him to finish off the game. Hasn't allowed any type of scoring since the second. He's looked utterly dominant since then, so keeping your bullpen as preserved as possible is also the name of the game. Thinking about tomorrow, you never know. Ramapo looking a little bit closer to getting themselves on the bags as of late. But still, Gilman has been dominating.
Yeah, absolutely. But 108 is the pitch count right now. And back out there for another. Just pretty impressive.
So Klons will get things started for the Roadrunners. We'll see the top of the order, Caruso and Ciani after that. First pitch coming. Just in for a strike.
Just for reference, you look down the line here, each of the last 3 starts for Gilman, the least amount of pitches he's thrown is 113, the most 123. The most this season, 128.
That ball popped up over towards right field. Slar's going to go back and make the catch to retire the first.
Number 45, Julian Caruso.
Now we go to the top of the order with Caruso. 3 at-bats. No hits to show for it, unfortunately. We'll look to change that here in the bottom of the 8th. Roadrunners have a lot of work to do to try to close that 4-2 gap that they are behind in. That pitch swung on over to Solari. Will make the play over to first. And that's 2 up, 2 down in quick fashion for this team.
Yeah, very quick. And this is helping the case for Gilman if he wants to go finish off the 9th next inning. That's 3 pitches to get 2 outs.
So Ciani comes back up. He's also chasing his first hit of the day. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and popped up. It's going to be close to see if it goes out of play, but
that is unbelievable.
That's a great outing for him. Unbelievable what we just saw here for Jason Gilman. 3 up, 3 down for him as we go to the top of the 9th.
Wow. And Gilman's going to have his shot in the 9th to finish off this game. That is spectacular work from him. Inducing the weak contact, 2 pop-ups, a ground out. And I get it, the Roadrunners, they're seeing something, and I'm sure that Gilman, that fastball, not as jumpy as it was in the beginning of this game, maybe not as coming in as hard, and as I said, you start to lose the break on some of your stuff. They're ready to swing, but the pitches are being located all around the zone right now. Nothing is in the middle, and that's the reason you're seeing weak contact, and the ball staying within the infield, being routine plays for the infielders. Just fabulous work from Gilman. He's had to completely change his strategy today. That the strikeouts haven't necessarily been there, only 4 for him. But he's had to work as a contact pitcher, and he's done just that.
So Kean leads 4-2 going into the 9th. It's a win or go home for both of these teams, so it really all comes down to this, CJ. So we're going to see if Kean can lay on some assurance runs here. It's going to be Dan Brownie making his way back out for the Roadrunners. He's going to look to play some lockdown defense to keep his team in this game to make a comeback in the 9th.
Yep, this is another big inning. Again, for the Ramapo relievers, and they need to just control what they can control at this point. Obviously, the offense, just 3 hits today. It hasn't gone according to plan. They've struggled against one of the best pitchers in the entire country, which perhaps expected. But remember how that 2-run home run came out of nowhere back in the 2nd inning. It was a matter of 2 hitters. All of a sudden, Gilman loses one guy to a walk, and the next guy homers. And just like that, it was 2 runs on the board in the blink of an eye. That could happen again.
So Adorno hits the ball right over to third. Novikowski is right there to record that out. That's just the start that the Roadrunners might want here.
Yeah, there's a big first out. That's a hard hit ball. And Adorno, especially his last 3 at-bats, been very, very impressive up at the plate. He's hit 3 balls hard. That time ends up right over to third base for Novikowski.
Next pitch is going to be swung on. Stone making his way to first. He's going to get thrown out there. So 2 up, 2 down for Ramapo.
The designated hitter, number 5, CJ.
He's going to bring up Tomilovic. Struck out twice so far today. Still yet to record a hit. First pitch outside. The check swing did not go all the way. It's 1-0 with 2 outs. Kean leading 4-2. Ball recorded again. Count up to 2-0. Swung on this time for a strike. And see Dan Brownie go in the same area, but this time Tomilovic getting a little bit antsy perhaps in the batter's box.
Yeah, a little bit. See him expanding there. He's a 2-0 pitch. Obviously a 2-0 count when you've got home run pop. Your eyes kind of light up, and once again, 3-1 here. He'll be looking to take a big hack.
He'll take that next one up and in to bring it to 3-1. Tomilovic lets that one go by him for a strike. It's a full count with 2 outs.
Like that. Throw the spinner in there. Make him glance twice at it. Probably not swinging on a 3-1 off-speed pitch, so he drops it right down the middle.
Here's the full count. Swung on and missed. A huge strikeout for Dan Brownie as we go to the bottom of the 9th. This game still remains 4-2. Kean not able to add anything on top of that. And now it's do or die for the Roadrunners. They have to find 2 runs, find them quick.
And this is feeling eerily similar to the first game for Kean here on Thursday of the NJAC tournament. They led 4-1 in that game. They went down 1-0 and then took a 4-1 lead. That held until the top of the 9th inning, in which they gave up 6 runs, ultimately losing the game. Now 4-2 rather than 4-1, but yet again, they will have an opportunity to close this game out and to advance. It's going to be Gilman back on the mound.
Gilman going for a complete game here on NJAC Tournament Saturday. 112 pitches thrown through 8 innings. Was only allowed 3 hits. Struck out 4.
The Ramapo pitching staff, give them credit. They've done what they've needed to do. It wasn't pretty. Give up 11 hits on the day, a lot of traffic on the base paths, but only 1 walk allowed through all of the pitching for the Roadrunners today, and most importantly, only gave up 4 runs. All things considered, and especially here at the Division III level where games can get wild, you will see 15, 14 games, and Speaking of that, Montclair State versus Rutgers Camden up next. Last time they played was a wild game here on this field. I believe you were on the call for that one, Ryan. Pretty crazy game there. Things can get wild. They can get out of control. These games can become high scoring. They did what they needed to do today. Now it's up to the offense.
It's going to be Montclair facing elimination in that game. Rutgers Camden, of course, not defeating this Kean Cougar team. So they're sitting pretty right now in the winner's bracket. It's going to be Bailey, Novakowski, and Higgins coming up for Ramapo. First strike is thrown. It was outside. Got Bailey to swing.
I like the Roadrunners still being aggressive, but you can't afford to chase here in these situations.
Pitch number 2 swung on again. This time fouled off. 0-2.
Bailey's last at bat resulted in fly out to center field. The ball was out toward deep in right center. His first 2 at bats of the game, not as pretty, but I like the swing. He's got to build off of it.
Downstairs, just missing.
Hard to lay off that when you're so antsy about getting aboard and bringing the tying run to the plate.
Gilman's been aggressive so far for this at-bat. Here's the pitch. Outside swung on. Can it stay fair? It goes just foul. Pulled it a little too much.
It's way off the end for Bailey. Able to float it down the right field line. Thought it could have stayed fair for a moment. Ends up hooking at the last second. And we'll do it again at 1-2.
Here's the pitch from Gilman. Swung on and popped up towards center field. Adorno right under that to retire the next batter. So it's going to be one away for Ramapo as Novakowski is going to make his way into the box. Novakowski watches that one go by him for strike 1. Recorded a hit early on in this game. When he gets on, he can be a threat to steal around the bags. Fouled away. Ramapo trying to break a 9-game losing streak to the Cougars. That one outside. Bringing the ball.
Gilman playing with his foot a little bit there. Goes to the slide step out of the windup. A little bit of a quick pitch trying to throw off Higgins, but misses the zone. When you're ahead of the count, you can allow for that stuff to kind of happen.
Swung on strike 3, and Gilman records another. He's 1 out away from a complete game.
The first baseman, number 22, John Higgins.
So it all comes down to the captain, John Higgins, who's going to be standing in now. Gilman deals. Fouled away. Kean seeking their first NJAC championship since 2015. If they're able to seal the deal here, they'll be well on their way.
Just one other complete game this season for Jason Gilman back on March 14th.
That one outside for the first ball. That ball into the dirt. 2-1.
Great couple of takes here. Higgins working himself into a count where he can get something to hit. Gilman's danced all around the zone when he's ahead with 2 strikes. Now he's behind for the first time in the 9th.
Swart out would be next. That one upstairs. And Higgins is ahead in the count 3-1.
Cannot be a home run swing here. Even if you get that fastball that you're looking for with 3-1, which you're going to get, Gilman does not want to walk the tying run to the plate. Cannot overswing.
That one hit well, but it's going to be fouled off. Full count. Now talk about playoff pressure. Full count, 2 outs. Ramapo needs to make something happen to stay alive. Both dugouts coming to their feet. Payoff pitch. Swung on right up the center, and Higgins will keep the game going for the Roadrunners.
That is ice cold from Higgins. And just like he did in the first inning, he works himself aboard. Who else would come to the plate as the tying run then swore out?
Yeah, he had that big home run to give the 2-0 advantage to the Roadrunners. Only RBIs of the day for anybody on this team. This is who you want to see up here right now. First pitch inside. And it's going to be Higgins who stays put.
Swore out. Has raw power. His last 2 at-bats have been way off the end, and he still has hit him about 250, 275 feet, 300 feet. If he can catch a barrel.
That one hit towards short. Messina flips it over to second, and that will do it. Kean remains alive, and they will play tomorrow to try to complete the quest for their NJAC championship. Season will come to an end for Ramapo. Final score today, 4-2. It was a really exciting ball game that we got to see here. Ramapo took the early lead, but ultimately, Kean, ranked in the nation, was able to come through with the victory.
Yeah, what a contentious game, Ryan. From start to finish, you could feel just the energy, the tension, all of that, the stuff that makes playoff NJAC baseball so great. What a day today. We knew it'd be low scoring. We knew the run should be savored. And how about the job from Jason Gilman to fight back after giving up a 2-run home run? We haven't seen it's the second home run he's given up all season long, Ryan. And to be able to fight back from that, figure it out. The strikeouts weren't there, but the weak contact was. He rolled with that. Kean able to fight back. And listen, I know they're going to be in the tournament, but they want this NJAC title. And they have gotten themselves back on track with a big win here today.
Complete game from Jason Gilman is going to seal the deal for the Cougars. They'll remain alive. And for Ramapo, they will not be able to defend their NJAC championship from last year, but nonetheless, such a great effort for them. So we'll see Kean play tomorrow, but that's going to do it for us here. Next game scheduled is going to be at 3:30. It's going to be between Rutgers Camden and the home team, Montclair State University. So we'll see you when that game is underway. For now, thank you very much for listening, and take care.